Hello world, Assalamu alaikum. This is Songlap News Now. China keen to invest in Bangladesh's solar panels. Depends. China keen to invest in Bangladesh's solar panels. Depends. New York, September 25, 2024. BSS. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi today said his country wants to invest in solar panels in Bangladesh and deepen trade and economic ties with Dhaka. Wang Yi expressed his country's interest as he called on Bangladesh Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly at the UN headquarters here on Wednesday, local time. He also called he also called Professor Yunus as an old friend of the Chinese people as he congratulated the chief advisor for assuming the leadership of the interim government of Bangladesh. We have full confidence in you that you will live up to the expectations of the people, Wang Yi said, hoping that Professor Yunus would unite the country. He said China would attach importance to Professor Yunus's call to Chinese solar panel manufacturers for setting up plants in Bangladesh. The chief advisor made the call when Chinese ambassador in Dhaka met him last month. The Chinese foreign minister said Beijing would also encourage greater cooperation and partnership between the companies of the two nations. He said Bangladesh also Bangladesh would also benefit from Chinese decision to allow zero tariff access to all goods from the least developed countries. He also said Chinese Red Cross has sent a team of doctors to treat the students and people who are grievously injured during the July-August mass uprising. Wang Yi said China would welcome more students from Bangladesh as well. Wang Yi said China would welcome more students from Bangladesh as well. Professor Yunus thanked China for its gesture, praising amazing Chinese efforts to lift hundreds of millions of people out of poverty. He said Chinese solar companies could invest in a bigger way in Bangladesh, which enjoys preferable market access to many rich nations. He also called other Chinese manufacturers to relocate their factories to Bangladesh. The chief advisor stressed closer relations with China and opening a new chapter in the ties between the two nations. He also called for increasing technological collaboration between the two companies of both nations. We, we love to collaborate with Chinese companies. We have a lot of scope to work together, he said. Chief Advisor seeks Gates Foundation's enhanced support for Bangladesh. Chief Advisor seeks Gates Foundation's enhanced support for Bangladesh health sector. New York, September 25, 2024. BSS. Chief Advisor Professor Dr. Mohammad Yunus today called upon the world's leading charity organization, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, to increase support to the health sector of Bangladesh. He made the call when Mark Suzman, CEO of the foundation, called on him at the UN headquarters here on the sidelines of the UNGA session on Wednesday, local time. Chief Advisor's Press Secretary Shafiqul Alam said Professor Yunus requested the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to increase assistance in the health and other sectors of Bangladesh. Mark Suzman responded positively to the chief advisor's call and showed interest in increasing their involvement in Bangladesh, he said. Alam said Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation conducts financial support and charitable programs in the health sector worldwide. He said the foundation is involved in vaccine production in Bangladesh and the programs of ICDDRB, an international health research organization located in Dhaka. About the outcomes of the meeting, the press secretary said the interest the Gates Foundation showed to increase its support in Bangladesh's health sector means enhancing the equality of the health services and creating new jobs in Bangladesh. During the meeting, he said the chief advisor called for conducting social business in other sectors apart from the health sector in Bangladesh. World Bank to provide $3.5 billion to support Bangladesh's reforms. World Bank to provide $3.5 billion to support Bangladesh's reforms. New York, September 25, 2024, BSS. World Bank, WB, Group's President Ajoy Banga today said the global lender would provide $3.5 billion to support reform initiatives of Bangladesh's interim government. The World Bank President announced the assistance at a meeting with Bangladesh Chief Advisor Professor Prof Yunus on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly UNGA at the UN headquarters here on Wednesday local time. Bongo, a long-time friend of Professor Yunus, said at least $2 billion would be provided as fresh lending, while another $1.5 billion would be repurposed from the existing programs. He said the World Bank would support reforms in digitization, liquidity, energy, power, and transport sectors in Bangladesh. During the meeting, Professor Yunus sought the World Bank's support for the wide range reforms the interim government had taken. He asked the World Bank to be creative about its lending program. It is a big opportunity to rebuild the country, he said. The World Bank president discussed the energy sector cooperation in South Asia and how hydro energy produced in Nepal and Bhutan could be shared by neighbors such as India and Bangladesh. Energy and Power Advisor Fazul Kabir Khan was present at the meeting. IMF chief offers support for Bangladesh 2.0. IMF chief offers support for Bangladesh 2.0. New York, September 24, 2024. BSS. International Monetary Fund Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva has placed support to Bangladesh's reform initiatives, saying the Washington-based lender has sent a team to Dhaka to hold talks with the stakeholders about the matter. The IMF Managing Director expressed her support at a meeting with Chief Advisor Professor Prof Yunus at the UN headquarters in New York on the sidelines of the annual session of the United Nations General Assembly UNGA on Tuesday. It is a different country. It is Bangladesh 2.0. Kristalina Georgieva told the chief advisor when he gave a short briefing on the student-led mass uprising which ousted the previous autocratic regime. During the meeting, Professor Yunus spoke about the 6 commissions that his interim government has set up to recommend vital reforms in election, civil administration, police, judiciary, anti-corruption, and constitution. He said the government would hold discussions with the political parties on the recommendations of the commissions. Once the consensus on the reforms is reached and the voter list is prepared and the date for the election will be announced, the chief advisor said. The IMF chief executive extended her support for the initiatives, saying the lender would fast-track financial support for the Bangladesh government. She said she sent an IMF team quickly to Bangladesh and it is in Dhaka at the moment. The team would place its report to the IMF Management Board next month. Here it. Georgieva said the IMF board could initiate a new lending program for Bangladesh based on the report of the team, or it could also extend more lending under the existing support program launched early last year. Energy, Power and Transport Advisor Fazul Kabir Khan and eminent economist Dr. Devopriya Bhattacharya attended the meeting. Advisor Fazul Kabir Khan told the IMF chief that the Bangladesh interim government took just a week to dismantle the struck architecture of crimes in the power and energy sector. Dr. Devopriya stressed the need for IMF support to bolster the country's balance of payments. He said the role of the IMF would be critical to stabilizing exchange rates. Professor Yunus gives the art of triumph to an anthropologist, Jane Woodwall. Professor Yunus gives the art of triumph to anthropologist Jane Woodwall. New York, September 25, 2024, BSS. Bangladesh Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus presented the book The Art of Triumph to renowned zoologist, primatologist and anthropologist Jane Woodwall at the New York Times headquarters here today. She introduced microcredit system into her consolation programs, the chief advisor's press wing said. I ভোট একটি স্পর্শী একটি ভোট সমগ্র জাতির জন্য একটি চূড়ান্ত নির্বাচনী সমাধান। আই ভোটের নকশা ও প্রস্তুতকরণ দুটোই হয়েছে সর্বসাধারণ ভোটারদের জন্য, যেন সবাই একটি স্পর্শী একটি ভোট দিতে পারেন। আই ভোট instant registration of voters, instant creation of executive positions, instant nomination of candidates, instant vote event management, instant result of the vote event. Comment, share and subscribe when you like. Thanks for watching.